You got to me, it brought me to my knees. Never thought I'd say please, girl.
Welcome back to The Five. Well, as the Census Bureau reports today that the poverty rate is at a 27-year high, President Obama is in Columbus, Ohio, pushing his jobs bill. Now, it's obvious that something needs to be done, but what's really going to happen with this plan? Will lawmakers support all of it or break it up and then pass it? Yesterday, the president said, quote, obviously, if they pass parts of it, I'm not going to veto those parts. I'll sign it, but I will say then, give me the rest. But this morning, one of the president's top advisors said they're not interested in Republicans cherry-picking from it.
We want them to act now on this package. We're not in a negotiation to break up the package, and it's not an a la carte menu. It is a strategy to get this country moving.
Okay, and then you heard today John Kerry saying that a different message. So the White House has been all over the place. Dana, I want to ask you. I mean, they seem to be not just raising the bar, but every time they roll out one of their legislative initiatives, they don't seem to have a cogent communication strategy in place. Did anyone not talk to Capitol Hill?
Right. Well, from what I've heard, there hasn't been a lot of communication to either side of the aisle, from legislative affairs to Capitol Hill. And what you want when you have a big announcement like this is an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And you want everybody to be having the resounding message. And what happened today is many members came out and said, of course, it's never going to be the whole thing all at once without being broken up. And Senator McConnell had a great line this morning. He said the only thing bipartisan about the president's jobs plan is opposition to it. If you go back and look at some of the things that Democrats have said about pieces of this plan over time, I could name all of them here: Schumer, Landrieu, Brewer. We have others, McCaskill, who have all said at one point in time that they are not for the parts of the bill. They've already voted it down in the Senate before.
How do these guys not have meetings? This is the one thing I don't understand. Don't you get up? I mean, in the White House, you meet,
Spend
you
all
say,
day.
yeah, this is what you're going to say. It's like, do these guys even talk to
That's
each other
all you do
anymore?
in the White House
Well,
is go to meetings.
Well, it makes me think that that's why this was strictly political, because they don't care what kind of legislative outcome they get. No matter what happens, they're just going to demagogue Congress the entire way.
Listen, first of all, there wasn't a question of consultation with Congress. They didn't consult each other, which would have been helpful to those of us who defend you all day long.
We need a meeting.
I mean, the idea that the same day, within 24 hours, the President of the United States says, well, I'll sign pieces of it, and then his chief strategist says, we don't want to sign pieces of it, we want the whole thing, is a breakdown in communication.
And can I just add, the chief strategist is not at the White House. He's on the campaign now. And I think there's a difference.
One thing they were all on the same page with was the fact that they said it was paid for. Every penny of it was paid for, but guess what? It wasn't. They have no ideas. They already sent to the super committee that $1.5 trillion you're supposed to find, make it $1.95 trillion. And again,
and it'll be
it's
from entitlement programs.
Here's what's going to end up happening. You can go ahead and try and make this recommendation. Once it goes to the House, there are House members across our networks that are saying, we're not going to vote for this thing. We're not going to take $62 billion in increasing entitlement spending going forward.
But there are parts
you are out of your ever-loving mind if you think these people are going to vote down payroll tax cuts.
But that's what I want to
It's not
talk
a la
about.
carte, Bob.
I want to talk about what will Republicans pass in the House? What can they pass, or what should they pass?
I think that you've seen some in leadership, not the Speaker necessarily, but some others, lean forward on payroll tax deduction as well as extension of unemployment benefits. And they're still talking about what are we going to do with the nation's crumbling infrastructure and how could we fund it better.
Eric, what about trade agreements? Would that be a help? Are they going to act on this? Because they've been in favor of them before.
Yeah, but why would they?
But the White House
Is this the big plan? Is this the big job creation? 14 million people are out of work, and they're going to come back with patents and trade reforms? Come on, guys. Listen, you know what? Look, Bob, when you tax cigarettes more, what happens to smoking? Consumption goes down.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does.
Look, you're the one who sat here and kept talking about trade agreements for the last 2 months. It's bored me to death.
When you tax things more, the consumption of them goes down.
That's a theory, but it doesn't work.
Okay, Bob, you've got a prediction on what's going to happen.
But it does.
All right, my prediction is this. Oh, we have a graphic. I'm sorry. Because we had a graphic. God's predictions. Thank you very much. You know, this reminds me, these people, everybody here except for Andrea convinced me to do Twitter, and I started the account, and all I've had is You dirty for it.
I just went on now and I told everybody to follow.
Okay, my prediction is this. My prediction is this: that there's not a Republican that I can think of, unless they're out of their mind, who's going to vote against deductions in the payroll tax. They won't vote against tax breaks for hiring veterans or long-term unemployed. They will not vote against extending unemployment. The only thing they may vote against is infrastructure. 75% of it will get paid.
Well, none of that is a jobs creator.
What is not a jobs creator?
Not according to the Hill. They're saying there's brewing Republican opposition even to the payroll tax.
There's brewing Republican opposition to breathing.
And there's a Republican. There's a filibuster-proof.
I'll take your action.
Republican filibuster can block all the things that you talked about.
$325 billion or so. You think that gets passed?
I said the things I outlined were going to get passed. Three-quarters of the things.
Yeah, but so wait, okay, then we get back to what Andrea first asked, which is, if it only passes piecemeal, will President Obama veto it?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
The real loser here is the super committee. It's like, you know, when you win a car on Oprah, then you find out you got to pay the taxes. That's exactly what happened to the super committee. They had one task. Now they have this extra task. It's not fair.
Well, if Obama doesn't pass his full plan, that will be a huge loser for him.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will. Coming up, major developments out of Iran and the case involving those 2 U.S. hikers who have been held for 2 years. We have details for you now.
Tonight.